Time for intro of music. Ah, yeah. Girls, it's so awesome now. Boy, does it feel good to be a gangster, because real gangster folks don't engage in combat. Let me rephrase, they don't start engagements of combat, yet they win anyway. Back to you, Tom.
In other news, according to recent reports, Melvin is a gentleman. This is breaking news from Europe. This has been BBC.
Hello, my name is Melvin and I'm a gentleman. I have been raised by traditional Belgian parents, and I got beat a lot if I didn't speak with 2 words, and they stabbed me with forks if I didn't use them.
It appears that Melvin often attracts ethnic minority groups. They often ask for his autograph, or do they? Back to you, Steve.
Oh, thank you. That's our... Speaking of Cold Wars, Mike, this reminds me when I had to eat cold pizza. It was quite a terrifying ordeal. Back to you.
In other news, Belgium invades Russia, taking down its government in a few days. Next, Belgian troops moved on to China, bombing Beijing to the very ground. The Belgian Navy has completely desecrated the United States Air Force, Navy, and Belgian troops have finally reached Washington, D.C. after 48 seconds of fighting. This has been BBC.
Speaking of Belgium, this reminds me of those waffles that I just baked. Yes, baked. I'm quite the cook. Back to you, Mike.
No matter how good of a cook you are, you can never beat Belgian waffles. It's science, it's simple mathematics and science and geography.
Speaking of waffles, I thought my shoes were waffles one time. It felt really awesome because my soles were always squeaking, and I always made footprints that looked like waffles. Back to you, Tom.
Hello, Amber's mom. I did not mean to scare you. I was just messing around. I'm a really nice guy. I'm not a pervert or anything. I think you raised your daughter very, very well. Please, Amber's mom, you have to believe me. I'm hurt. I'm crying right now.
Oh my God, it's Melvin! Oh, sweet Jesus! Sweet Jesus! God, Jesus! Melvin, give me your autograph. I can't help my black heart. Speaking of Ambers and moms, this reminds me of when Amber's mom just waltzed in the room when Melvin, my friend here, was trying to speak. It was a horrible rude. I believe it was Adolf Hitler that first said, "Sorry doesn't cut it."
Thank you very much.
In other news, a wild Pikachu was murdered today during the 14th round of their Pokemon Championship. A tragic day in a tragic game.
Pikachu! Speaking of Carlos, this reminds me of when Carlos was being spoke of. Back to you, Mike. Speaking of Carlos, so far, there has not been a comedian named Carlos who's funny. Isn't that a coincidence? Back to you, Mike. Now, speaking of raising, this reminds me of when the Soviet flag was raised over Berlin after a big battle. I don't even know what happened there, but it was quite an epic time in history. Speaking of burps, this reminds me of an event during the Second World War, when an explosion nearly killed Adolf Hitler nearly a year before the war's end. Speaking of All Done, that reminds me of the All Done event of 1904. Quite the event. I was there. Chocolate rain. Chocolate rain, what else you want? Some stay dry and others will depend on someone will tell you what Asian go on. Chocolate rain. We'll meet, I know we'll meet. Beyond the shore. We'll kiss just as before. Happy somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me. My lover stands on golden sands. Chocolate rain.
This is my natural voice. I like to sing really deep.
Some stay dry and others feel the pain. Chocolate rain. Some stay... Yo, check it! Yeah! Chocolate rain! Yeah! Chocolate rain. Some stay dry and others chocolate rain. Chocolate rain.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars.
Among the stars.
Good night.
When me and my friends go out in the town, we can't sit still, we can't sit down. We don't like to fight and we don't like to scuffle, but we dance all night doing the curly shuffle. Hey Mo,